It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Sportsnet LA presents the Dodgers as they take on the Cincinnati Reds. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday evening to you, wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium, final game of the series with the Reds, final game of a very short homestand. For the Dodgers, they've won 3 straight, but before we get into the numbers tonight, we should tell you that the Giants won this afternoon. They've won 5 straight, sweeping San Diego. They now have 30 victories. Should the Dodgers stumble tonight, the Giants then would have a 5.5-game lead. Let's get back to the Dodgers. They've won 3 straight, having lost 6 of the last 7. Should they win tonight, it would give them a 4-game winning streak, and that would be their longest streak of the year. As far as Cincinnati is concerned, well, the Dodgers have beaten them 8 straight times since last August. And besides that baggage, the Reds have also lost 9 in a row. Last year, they had a 13-game losing streak. Scott Kazmir will be on the mound for the Dodgers with a record of 3-3. He is 1-0 against Cincinnati, but he was pitching in those days for the Cleveland Indians. On the mound for Cincinnati, right-hander Dan Straley. He was born in Redlands, so a local boy comes back. He has a record of 2-1. His last game was a dandy. He went up against Seattle. He allowed 1 run in 6 innings, walked off leading 3-1. But the bullpen gave up 7, and the Reds lost it 8-3. So those are the pregame notes and stories. Pull up a chair, sit back and relax. We've got a good ball game and a whole lot more coming up. very pleasant Wednesday evening to you, wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium on a gorgeous evening as we hit 10 after 7. It is a beautiful time to start a ball game. The Dodgers, meanwhile, eager to try and match the Giants, already winning over San Diego in 10 innings today, 4-3. So for the moment, the Dodgers trail by 5 games. It'll either go to 5.5 should they lose, or drop back to 4.5 should they win. Cincinnati Reds, a very hungry ball club. They've lost 9 in a row. Last year they lost 13 in a row, and here the boys will try to break that record tonight. Zach Cozart leading off at short, Billy Hamilton in center, and Joey Votto at first. Then Brandon Phillips hitting cleanup. Jay Bruce in right, Adam Duvall in left, Eugenio Suarez at third, Tucker Barnhart the catcher, and Dan Straley, young man born in Redlands, coming up to try to boost his ball club against Scott Kazmir. Kazmir with a record of 3-3. If you go back to 2013 when he was pitching for Cleveland, he beat the Cincinnati Reds. In that game, they won 7-1, and he went 7 innings. So Kazmir trying to break a 500 record. He's 3-3 and an ERA over 5, and he would certainly like to whittle that down. And starting it off, Zach Cozart, who has been so impressive with the glove during the series, fouls the first pitch back, and the count 0-1. In the first game of the series, he walked up and hit the first pitch for a double against Clayton Kershaw. Last night, he took the first pitch, and tonight he fouls it off. Kazmir, open stance, left foot on the rubber, turns ready, and the strike one pitch is a sinker in there for a strike, and the count 0-2. Kazmir, a veteran left-hander, I should say, entered his 12th major league season this year. First with the Dodgers. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Bad ball chased and missed. And down goes Cozart. Take a look at the Dodgers with the leather, and here's the way they shape up. Looking at the infield, Gonzalez and Utley, Seager and Turner. The outfield, Kendrick, Peterson, and Thompson in right. Grandal behind the plate, and Kazmir on the mound. Well, the will-o'-the-wisp, Billy Hamilton coming up. One of the things the Dodgers have done is preventing him from getting on base, where he torments and steals. The pitch foul back to the screen, and the count 0-1. Hamilton has stolen as many as 100 bases in the minor leagues, but the Dodgers have solved that problem by keeping him off the bases. Last night, fly ball and a couple of pop flies, going 0 for 3, and in the first game, 0 for 3. He bunts in the air, foul, and out of play. Show you how things were going and how they respected Clayton Kershaw. In game 1, Cozart doubled, and it was the first inning, nobody out, and Hamilton bunted him to third. And then to show you how the Dodgers respected Kershaw, they played the infield up, and Joey Votto hit a line drive right at Corey Seager. Off-speed pitch is swung on and missed. That'll do it for Hamilton. So it is not a good way for the Reds to start, trying to snap a 9-game losing streak. So Joey Votto coming up. One of the big surprises so far is how struggled Votto has been. He comes in hitting .204, but in the last 12 games hitting .122, and of course we all know he is so much better a hitter. Left-hand batter takes a breaking ball away, ball 1. Joey has 198 career home runs. He would be tied right now with Hall of Famer Barry Larkin. That would be 10th on the home run list. 1-0 pitch on the way, fastball for a strike, and the count 1-1. For Votto, started off in April struggling at .229, and it got worse in May. He's hitting just .174. Dodgers load up the right side of the infield. Kazmir ready, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball on the inside corner, and a 1-2 count. So Kazmir starting off in high fashion, striking out Cozart and Hamilton, and jumping ahead on Votto, 1-2. Votto very deliberate before getting back in. Bends at the knees, then straightens up a bit. And the 1-2 pitch. Kazmir ready, high kick. Here he comes, down and away. And the count 2-2. Votto from Canada. Very quiet. He really believes it is not playing the game, it's working at the game. Joey in and out of the box now, settles back in. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Kazmir ready. Scott delivers on the hands, a little flare, and it's going to drop into left center field for a base hit. So Votto really tied up on the pitch and wound up getting a bloop single. Boy, the way things have been going for him, he will gladly take it. So that brings up Brandon Phillips. So Votto, a check swing. It reminds us of the other night. Adrian Gonzalez had the same kind of a hit. That was in the 8th inning. Almost a tennis stroke to flare it over the net. So Votto at first, 2 out. Here's Brandon Phillips. Phillips is another fellow who's struggling, and for the last week hitting less than 100. Right hand batter. Kazmir's fastball away. 1 ball and no strikes. For Brandon Phillips, trying to become only the 5th player in Major League history to produce as a second baseman 2,000 hits, 200 home runs, 200 stolen bases. 1-0 pitch on the way, taken for a strike, 1-1. He would certainly join an exclusive club that includes only Cooperstown Hall of Famers Roberto Alomar, Craig Biggio, Joe Morgan, and Ryne Sandberg. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kazmir set. Left-hander ready, comes to the plate. Fastball swung on and missed. Good fastball it was. 1-2 the count to Brandon Phillips. He got his home runs in a bunch. 5 of his 6 came during a 4-game streak, and he hasn't homered since. That was back the first week of May. So 1-2 the count to Brandon Phillips. Votto at first, 2 out, no score. Kazmir ready, comes to the plate. Fastball fouled away. Dodgers will fold their tents and move on tomorrow. Not exactly an off day. It will be an off the ground day for Roberts and all the boys. Bob Guerin is bench coach standing alongside of him. But they could use a rest. 20 straight. That's tough. But they all go through it at one time during the season. 1-2 pitch on the way. Change up hit into right center field for a base hit. Over to get it is Thompson. Holding on at second is Votto. So back-to-back singles after back-to-back strikeouts, and the batter will be the left-hand hitting Jay Bruce. So Jay Bruce with an opportunity to get the Reds out in front, hitting .264, but like everybody else on the club, struggling in one way or another. He's had 1 hit in his last 17 at bats. That's less than .060. Dodgers put up the shift on the right side, but the outfield, if anything, shaded a little bit with Kendrick shallow in left field. Kazmir ready, fastball low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. So he went from the low 70s to give up the base hit to Phillips. Comes right back at 93 against Jay Bruce. 2 on, 2 out, no score, first inning. And the left-hander's fastball is lined to center. Coming up for it is Peterson, and that'll be that for the Reds. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and at the end of half an inning, Reds nothing, Dodgers coming up. men on. Now the Dodgers coming up, and here's Dave Roberts' lineup with Chase Utley leading off at second base, followed by Corey Seager at short, Justin Turner at third, Adrian Gonzalez at first. Trace Thompson is in right field, Jock Peterson in center, Howie Kendrick in left, Yasmani Grandal behind the plate, and Scott Kazmir on the mound. On the mound for Cincinnati, maybe their best pitcher. His name is Dan Straley. He was born in Redlands, grew up in Springfield, Oregon, just outside of Eugene, and always had some weight problems. In fact, as a sophomore in high school, they told him he had to lose weight to pitch outside. So they put him on the wrestling team because his JV coach said, Dan, you just can't move out there in Batesville. Well, he took up wrestling and lost 40 pounds. Here's the 1-0 pitch, in for a strike. So Chase Utley will test him, then Seager and Turner. Chase hitting .291, but the last 11 games scored 10 runs. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Utley fouls it back. Have some startling numbers about Straley. Number one, left-hand batters are hitting .152 against him. First inning hitters are hitting less than 100. And with runners in scoring position, the opposition is hitting less than 100. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swung on, little nubber, down to get it, and will throw back, but I think they're going to call the play back. Yep. The plate umpire, Pat Holberg, indicating that the ball must have hit the foot. Utley was still going to run, not playing, almost fell down, but the play is nullified. Immediately, Byron Price comes out to see if he can dissuade Pat Holberg, the umpire. Price can't believe it. Outs have come very hard for Cincinnati, but he's going to lose the argument. And the 1-2 count to Chase Utley. With those impressive numbers, batting averages against Straley, he is number 2 behind Felix Hernandez with runners in scoring position. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and down goes Utley, and we have one away. Take a look now at the Reds defensively, and they shape up this way: Votto and Phillips, Cozart and Suarez, Duvall, Hamilton and Bruce, Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. So here's Corey Seager holding down the fort. Got a shot on the knee last night, but hung in there. Hitting .375 with 5 home runs in his last 10 home games. Takes in the dirt. New ball put in play. 1 ball and no strike. Interesting note again about Straley. In fact, he's a very interesting pitcher. When his team scores 0-2, he pitches his best. Pitch outside, ball 2. His earned run average is 2.5, and he's 4-9 when the Reds are either shut out or get as many as 2 runs. When you give him 6, all of a sudden he's 7-0, and an earned run average over 5.5. Seager swings and misses, and they count 2-1. Fellow who apparently has done a good job handling Straley is his catcher tonight, Tucker Barnhart. The next one to Seager is fouled away. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Tucker, and they always put the pitcher's ERA with the catcher. Tucker's earned run average with Straley, 2.4. So 1 out, bottom of the first inning, no score. Dan Straley ready, comes back. Half swing by Seager, badly fooled. Barnhart picks the ball up out of the dirt, throws down to Votto, and we have the second out. So a similar beginning. The first 2 hitters for each side strike out. Cozart and Hamilton for the Reds, and Utley and Seager for the Dodgers. 2 down, and here's Justin Turner. So Australia started off on a high note. Justin still struggling, but the last 5 games show some improvement, hitting .313 over that stretch, but still only .242 for the year. Tied up on a pitch, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. By the way, in Straley's start on May 8th, He allowed 1 run, 6 innings, had 2 strikes on 18 of the 25 hitters he faced. The next one is in there. 0-2 the count to Turner. Justin rarely argues. He might turn and make a statement about where he thought the pitch was, but he never puts up a fuss. So Justin back up. No balls, 2 strikes. Straley's pitch, sinker down and away. Check swing, no swing, says Brian Knight. And they count 1-2. By the way, in that game where Straley pitched so well, he allowed Seattle 1 run in 6 innings, walked off the field leading 3-1, and the bullpen came in and gave up 7 runs. Shot up the middle behind second is Brandon Phillips. Low throw, but Votto makes the catch. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end of an inning, Reds nothing, Dodgers nothing. In the ball game, the Dodgers perking up a little bit. Their record in the first 16 games of the year at home, they were 4 games under 500. They have moved around to win 6 of the last 8. They've improved in hitting, in runs, and team ERA. So getting ready for a very tough road trip that takes them to New York and then Chicago. Kazmir working on Adam Duvall. Right-hand hitting left fielder, comes up empty with the first swing. 0-1. Last night, with 2 out, Jay Bruce doubled and Duvall came up and hit a home run, hitting .259 with 9 home runs. The Reds, as badly as they have played, have more home runs than the Dodgers. Pitches swung on and missed. Coming into the game, the Reds have hit 47 home runs. Well, Billy Hamilton not much, but Jay Bruce okay. Dodgers have hit 44. 0-2 the count. Kazmir ready, comes right back. Fastball snapped low and away at 94. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kazmir has won 101 games in his lengthy career. The 1-2 pitch on the inside corner with a fastball, strike 3. So he's given up 2 hits and he has struck out 3.
Baseman number 7, Eugenio Suarez.
So 1 out in the 2nd inning. Kazmir with 3 Ks in the book. And here is Suarez, who has really been struggling, just like most of the Reds hitters. Suarez hitless in his last 17 at bats. 0 for 18 to be exact. Has gotten well against left-hand pitching. Takes an off-speed pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Before this dreadful streak of 0 for 18, he was hitting over 300. Strike one pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. He had a 7-game hitting streak before everything came to an end. He has 9 home runs. April, he had 4 home runs in 5 appearances. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Taken low and inside. 2-1 the count. Eugenio Suarez. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Suarez going into last night's game has 0 for 14 with 11 strikeouts. He avoided the strikeout, but he went 0 for 3 anyway. So he's up there now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kazmir ready, turns, ready, and here he comes. Fastball swung on and missed. So Suarez strikes out. 2 out in the second inning. 4 strikeouts for Scott Kazmir on a magnificent evening. Look at the mountains out there if you're watching on TV. Wow. They are really sketched out against that powder blue sky. Magnificent background for a big league ball game. Right hand hitter, and that's Tucker Barnhart. He swings at a pitch up around his eyes. 0-1 the count. Barnhart hitting .240. The next one is swung on, fouled, and the count 0-2. The Reds came into this game overall team batting average .228. Dodger team batting average .242. In their games, Brian Price's team has scored 178 runs and the Dodgers 203. So Barnhart waits, takes high. 1-2 the count. The Reds trying to snap a 9-game losing streak and an 8-game losing streak to the Dodgers. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kazmir changes and misses away. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reds had 2 singles in the first inning with 2 out, and Jay Bruce lined out to Jock Peterson. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. He strikes out the side. 5 Reds have struck out in 2 innings, and at the end of an inning and a half, no score. He got rid of Duvall, Suarez, and Barnhart to conclude matters. head, and then the man himself. Bottom of the second inning, no score. Adrian Gonzalez, Trace Thompson, and then Jock Peterson. Adrian, hitting .278, has really struggled at home. However, in the last 9, hitting over .300 here, and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. No score, bottom of the second. Dan Straley, big right-hander, comes back with a pitch and flips that in there. Dan Straley is the 4th lowest pitcher as far as number of hits per 9 innings, 6. And now breaking ball takes care of Gonzalez on a swing, and so Straley has struck out 3. Kazmir has struck out 5, and we're only in the bottom of the second inning. Trace Thompson coming up after Gonzalez goes down. Now, one of the problems for Straley is to throw strikes. Of course, that's the problem for everybody, but he has the 4th highest rate of walks per 9. He comes over the top and a sinker for a strike, and the count 0-1. Straley averages 4 walks, almost 5 per 9. He's already walked 11 in the month of May, and he's only pitched twice. Fastball is low. One of the things for Straley, he's been saved 3 times from a loss. He left the game in position for a loss, but the offense came back to get him off the hook. He is not much of a ground ball pitcher, although Turner grounded out. 1-1 pitch is another ground ball to short. Hozard ready and makes the play, and we have 2 down, second inning, no score. Jock Peterson coming up, and we put the spotlight on that position, the Dodgers center fielder. Well, they have 10 home runs, 2nd in the league, 25 RBIs, on base percentage of .353, and a slugging percentage of over .500. So Jock Peterson ready to try to do some damage. Peterson, 8 home runs, hitting over .300 for the week. Straley ready, delivers, check swing for a strike, and the count 0-1. Straley does his best pitching with runners in scoring position. And there's a drive to left, going back on the ball is Duvall, to backhand it for the out, and that'll do it. So the Dodgers go very quietly in the second inning, and at the end of 2, no score. Fraley will start it off. Then it'll be Zach Cozart and Billy Hamilton. It is a lovely time of evening, but the clouds of late in Southern California appear to be threatening every day, but not a drop of rain, and the drought continues. So in the third, no score. Kazmir, who has struck out the side in the second inning, starts the third with a strike, and the count 0-1 to Dan Straley. Dan swings, fouls it back. Looking at Straley's numbers as a hitter is rather interesting. He has struck out 8 of his 11 at bats, but he does have a run batted in. Dan, right-hand batter. Kazmir, the left-hander, comes back, flips it in there, swung on and missed. So a half a dozen strikeouts and 4 in a row for Scott Kazmir. Say, celebrate Dodger pitching great Don Newcombe's 90th birthday Wednesday, June 8th. The first 40,000 fans in attendance receive a Don Newcombe bobblehead presented by United Healthcare. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Big Nuke. He was something. One away. Zach Cozart began the game by striking out. He's been very impressive, making some very wonderful defensive plays throughout the series. Takes a strike, and the count 0-1. For the moment, at least, Kazmir is a strike throwing machine. The left-hander looks down to barrel. Yasmani Grandal shuffles cards, and a curveball is lifted into shallow left field. Coming up for it is Kendrick, and puts it away. So before you know it, 2 out in the third inning.
Number 6, Billy Hamilton.
Billy Hamilton coming up. Hamilton struck out in the first inning. Hamilton hitting .229. He has struck out 22 times. Switch hitter, batting right-handed, sprays one foul off to the right, and the count 0-1. Hitting left-handed, Billy's hitting only .205. Batting right-handed, .310. Strike one pitch on the way. Kazmir's fastball is popped up, and I mean up. The corners come to the mound, and it's Adrian Gonzalez. So 1, 2, 3. That's 7 in a row retired since Phillips' single at the end of 2.5. No score. And here at Dodger Stadium for sure. We'll tell you about him in a moment. The first pitch to Kendrick is high, ball one. Mrs. Phillips is here along with their son Micah, and Micah is somewhere between 2 and 3 years old. The pitch to Kendrick foul back, and the count 1-1. And when his dad took the field, Micah stood up, waved, hoping his dad would see him, and then blew him a kiss. Oh, what a great moment that is. The next pitch at the plate, low and away, ball two. I think it was last night we were showing Brandon Phillips pitching batting practice to little Micah. There he is, got his little glove, he's ready. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Straley delivers in on the hands, fouled away by Kendrick. Straley came into the 3rd inning having only made 22 pitches. No score, 2 hits, no hits for the Dodgers. Straley looks into Barnhart, comes back to Kendrick, and it is swung on and missed. Boy, this is quite a ball game. There are 9 strikeouts. That make it 10 now. 10 strikeouts in 2 and the 3rd innings. The Reds have struck out 6 times against Kazmir, and the Dodgers have struck out 4 times against Straley. Yasmani Grandal struggling, hitting just 188. First pitch is a little high, ball one. Grandal hitting 222 right-handed and 181 left. 2 of his 3 home runs hitting left-handed. Takes off speed. 1 ball and no strikes. Straley, no big windup. Fastball jumps in there at 90. 2-1 the count. Dan Straley actually went to what they call a pitcher doctor, an expert on throwing the ball. The next one in for a strike. He had lost velocity, and that really bothered him naturally. Not that he's a hard thrower, but he was starting to drift under 90 miles an hour. The pitching doctor was a fellow named Kyle Body. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Check swing, ball 3. They started him off biomechanics at a lab to analyze his delivery. Then they took some tests to measure the movement and spin rate of his pitches. The next one is swung on and missed, and down goes Grandal. So that's 11 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings. Wow. Straley with 5, Kazmir with 6. And with 2 out, here is Kazmir. And now Straley will try to give him a dose of his own medicine. What did Straley do to get the velocity back? Well, his pitch to Kazmir, a strike. It included a new weightlifting regimen, a revamped throwing program. He had a steady diet of weighted balls. A bunt attempt is missed, 0-2. Remember, Kazmir had the bad thumb. Well, the Dodgers don't want him to swing, so he's been trying to drag bunt a few times since the thumb bothered him. Meanwhile, Straley doesn't mess around. He's ready to come right back again. Strike 2 pitch on the way is high. Ball 1, 1-2. They also had Straley not only with weighted balls. He had a pivot pickoff throw which strengthened his shoulder. The next pitch fouled at the plate on a full swing. Well, maybe Kazmir feels all right now. I remember years ago the Yankees had a pitcher named Ernie Bonham, Bonham, and Ernie Bonham was the first pitcher I ever heard of who threw a weighted ball in the bullpen. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swung on, fouled away. So you know how the hitters, like in the old days, they carry 2 or 3 bats and swing them. Later on, Elston Howard brought the donut to the game, and you'd put the donut on the end of the bat. And Bonham used to throw a weighted ball a few times in the bullpen, and there's strike 3 called to Kazmir. So what a 3 innings, 12 strikeouts, 6 on each side. And it is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. Fourth inning, no score. Picture from the past. First of all, look at center field. 461 feet from home plate in old Yankee Stadium. The batter is big Frank Howard of the Dodgers, and the pitcher, one of the great ones, Whitey Ford of the Yankees. In fact, Casey Stengel said if he had to have one win, and he had a great staff, but he said if I had to have one win, I would give the ball to Whitey Ford. Frank Howard, as big and strong as he was, actually worried about hitting balls back at the pitcher and hurting him. Well, little Micah just got a high five from his dad, Brandon. And we go to the fourth inning. No score. So at least somebody hit something as Micah hit his dad's hand. 12 strikeouts in 3 innings. Ball one to Joey Votto. Votto wakes up. I'll tell you what I mean by that. With nobody on base, he's hitting 144. With runners in scoring position, he's hitting 387. Big curveball, good one. It made Votto quit and back off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Scoreboard has to catch up. There he is. Little Micah watching his dad. What a thrill that must be. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that misses. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Scott Kazmir had 2 strikeouts in the first inning, struck out the side in the second, picked up 1 more in the third. Not being outdone, Dan Straley struck out 6. Fastball inside. 43 pitches for Kazmir, of course, strikes. The scoreboard, they're caught up. It's behind twice now. So 3-1 the count. No score, 4th inning, and remember the Giants won. 3-1 pitch is in there. A base hit in the 10th inning by Brandon Crawford drove in the winning run. In our game, no runs, 2 hits for the Reds, nothing across for the Dodgers, and we're in the 4th with Joey Votto. Joey checks in and waits, and the 3-2 pitch on the way is taken. Strike 3 called. Votto started to go to first base, just turned without a word and goes back to the dugout. So all of a sudden, Scott Kazmir has 7 strikeouts. 1 out in the 4th inning. Phillips singled to center in the first inning to thrill his son, I'm sure. Brandon hitting 245. Yeah, there's his boy Micah. Kazmir ready to work. 1 out, 4th inning, no score. Fastball shoots in there. Brandon, the best offensive second baseman the Reds have ever had, which means he passed Joe Morgan. 0-1. Another fastball that's fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Phillips. Phillips came into the game with a career batting average of .360 against the Dodgers. In the first game, he went 0 for 3, struck out twice and walked. Times a slow curve and hits it by the diving Utley. Oh yeah, that's my dad. So Phillips is 2 for 2, inspired by the presence of his son. And Jay Bruce coming up. Just kind of poked it. Utley giving it an all-out dive, couldn't catch it, and gets a little applause. All right, Jay Bruce checking in. Phillips 2 for 2. 3 hits allowed by Kazmir, but no runs. Jay Bruce hit the ball pretty well in the first inning, but lined out to Jock Peterson in center field with 2 on and 2 out. Down and away, ball 1. The Dodgers loading up the right side. Corey Seager all alone on the left. Outfield deep and about straight away. Kazmir very deliberate. After having won 101 games, he's already set his number. Change in for a strike. Pretty pitch at 77. So Big Jay Bruce, power hitter, waiting for a pitch he can drive. 1-1. Bruce is 6'3", 225. Bruce has hit as many as 34 home runs. Jay out of Beaumont, Texas, and lives in Houston. 1-1. Another throw. Brandon Phillips, in looking at his work, has stolen 3 bases, but he's been caught 4 times. So he's a risk. One ball and 1 strike. Ball 2. In looking at Brandon Phillips in his big league career, there was a time when he was a terror. He stole 32, 25, but it's gone downhill ever since. 2-1. That's a hit and run count. Phillips is not going, and it's going to go foul out of play. So Jay Bruce trying to get something started, trying to help his ball club snap a 9-game losing streak. Phillips, 1 out and a 2-2 count on the hitter. Jay Allen Bruce checking in. Two balls and 2 strikes. And there goes Phillips. Curveball hit in the air to center and deep. Back goes Peterson to the track at the wall. Can't make the play. Falls down. The run will score. Jay Bruce is on his way to third, and they're going to wave him in. Here comes the relay to the plate on a bounce. He is out at the plate. Jock Peterson shaken up in center field. He hit that wall and crumbled to the ground. Bruce was waved in by Billy Hatcher, and the relay got him on a good play. Take another look. Fastball, and Bruce was on it. Peterson to the wall. Can't make it. Staggers and falls down. That gave Bruce a triple, but then they forced the issue. Of course, trying to snap a 9-game losing streak, you're going to play all out. The throw to Grandal was just in time. As usual, it was a heads-up play by Chase Utley. So it's 1-0 Cincinnati, but the combination and the great throw to the plate by Chase takes away the possible second run. Adam Duvall 0-1. So as we said, when you've lost 9 in a row, you're not going anywhere. And Billy Hatcher decided, oh, the heck with it. Let's try and get him in. Couldn't make it. Give him a triple, and he's out at the plate. 8-4-2. Fastball away. So Brandon Phillips, who was going on the pitch, so he breezed home. Boy, his son must think his dad is the absolute perfect player. The 1-1 pitch. Strike. Took a little off that. Yeah, Micah has seen his dad get a single to center, a single to right, and score on a triple. 1-2 the count to Adam Duvall. Fastball down he goes. 8 strikeouts. That's right. Ocho for Bruce. And at the end of 3.5, 1-0 Cincinnati. One to nothing Reds on the triple by Bruce, scoring Brandon Phillips. And the Dodgers now will start off with Utley, who nailed Bruce at the plate. Ball one. By the way, a couple of years ago, it was actually June the 15th, 2012. Big Jay Bruce, 6'3", 225, hit an inside the park home run at New York against the Mets. Right. So you can imagine if you're Grandal, and here he comes down the line, and you're going to have to catch the ball and tag him at the same time. Big assignment, and Grandal did it. Utley with a 1-ball 2-strike count, struck out in the first inning. Kazmir has struck out 8. Straley has struck out 6. So we've had 14 strikeouts going into the bottom of the 4th inning. Ground ball to the left of short, base hit. Coming over to get it, Billy Hamilton, and Utley will hold on. So they loaded up the right side, and all he had to do is make contact the other way. Nobody there to cover it. A desperate effort, but no chance. So Utley comes up with the first Dodger hit, and the batter will be Corey Seager. Seager struck out in the first inning. Oh, and 1. Now, a left-hand hitter, Chase Utley, got a base hit, but going into this game, Dan Straley, against left-handers, they're batting 152 against him. He's also been very efficient against the top 2 hitters in the enemy lineup. The top 2 hitters going into this game were hitting 186 against Dan. Utley and Seager struck out in the first inning, and now Utley gets a base hit. 1-1. And that's going to go right into the glove of Zach Cozart. So Seager lines out, 1 down.
Number 10,
Justin Turner coming up. Moving through the lineup, as far as Straley is concerned, the number 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters, the heart of the enemy offense, they're batting .205 against Dan Straley. No wonder we were told by someone he's the best pitcher the Reds have. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. I understand the Reds have 2 very good young pitchers in the minors. Ball 1. And they might very well be here in July. And if they're as good as I was told, the Dodgers will probably see them on the 4-game series in the middle of August in Cincinnati. Utley 1 for 2 in stolen bases. Straley keeping an eye on him. As efficient as he has been through the first 6 hitters, would you believe it or not, the number 7 through 9, they wear him out. Almost hit him. Yep, it did. So Turner hit by a pitch, and the Dodgers now have something going. So Utley singled, 1 out later. Turner is hit, and that brings up Adrian Gonzalez, who struck out in the 2nd inning. All right, the Dodgers have 2 men on and examining Dan Straley. When there are 2 men on base, the batting average against him, believe it or not, is .120. 3 for 25, and he's going to be challenged again right now. 2 on, 1 out. 1-0 Reds. Bottom of the 4th. Adrian 0 for 1. Came into the game hitting .279. And ball 2. So Barnhart out to talk to Dan Straley. As we mentioned, Barnhart has been very successful catching Straley. Together, the earned run average is 2.4. Utley at second, Turner at first, 1 out, 4th inning. Reds lead 1-0. Two and 0. And a strike. In case you missed it, the Giants went 10 innings and they beat the Padres again 4-3 on a game-winning base hit by Brandon Crawford. 2-1. And that's a little low. 3-1. Trace Thompson waiting on deck. Looking at Straley's numbers coming into the game, he had walked 4 and struck out 23. 3-1 to Adrian Gonzalez. Whoa, what a rip he had at that. 3-2. Dan Straley, born in Redlands, family moved to Oregon, lives just outside of Eugene. 3-2 with 1 out. Utley at second, Turner at first. The runners are going, and it's fouled away. So the Dodgers roll the dice with Gonzalez. It's a little dangerous because Adrian Gonzalez has struck out 38 times. All right, let's see if they turn him loose again. 1 away in the 4th. 1-0 Reds. Runners go again, and it is ball 4. So the bases are loaded, And Trace Thompson coming up.
Number 21.
Thompson grounded to short in the second inning. He's playing right field tonight instead of Yasiel Puig. Brian Price sends his pitching coach Mark Riggins out to the mound. Yasiel just a viewer, just to the left of Howie Kendrick. So Utley singled, Seager lined out, Turner hit by a pitch, Gonzalez on a 3-2 pitch walks, and here's Trace. Mark Riggins has concluded the message, heading back to the dugout, and the Dodgers now trying to not only get one, they'd like to take the lead. So Utley's at third, Turner out there at second, and Gonzalez at first with one out. Dan Straley ready to work on the number 5 hitter in the Dodger lineup. The infield back in double play depth. Votto, Phillips, Cozart, and Suarez. Straley telling his catcher, I can't see the sign. Trying to hide it from the enemy, and he almost hides it from the pitcher, and he didn't have his hands manicured. 0-1. So many catchers will have the nails colored a certain color, though they're easier to read. John Roseboro for the Dodgers, a black catcher. He had little pieces of white tape on his fingertips. Yasmani Grandal has some stuff on his hands, and that's a strike. No balls and 2 strikes to Trace Thompson. Foul back. Still 0-2. Reds got a run in the 4th inning with 1 out. Phillips single to right. Really a flare single. And then Bruce unloaded. Peterson crashing into the center field wall, couldn't catch it, went down on his hands and knees. They tried to wave Bruce in, and the relay from Kendrick to Utley to Grandal got him. So it's still 1-0 Cincinnati, and Peterson's on deck. 0-2 the count. Down and dirty. Good block by Barnhart. 1-2 the count. Straley now has made 59 pitches, so he's made 20 so far here in the 4th inning. Kazmaier has made 57 pitches in his 4 innings. 1-2. Fastball got him on the inside corner. A perfect pitch. So Straley comes up with his 7th strikeout. We have had 15 strikeouts, and we're in the 4th inning. So that'll do it for Thompson. And now with 2 out and the bases loaded, it'll be Jock Peterson. Peterson hit the ball on the button, lined out to the left fielder Adam Duvall in the 2nd inning. Tough ball game. 1-0 Cincinnati, bottom of the 4th. The Reds desperate to snap 2 streaks. They've lost 9 in a row, and the Dodgers have beaten them 8 in a row. And there's a drive into right field, base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes the 2nd run, Turner, and he will score, and there's going to be safe at 3rd. So Jock Peterson knocks in 2, and the Dodgers take the lead.
Number 47, Howie Kendrick.
Not much that Jay Bruce could do getting the ball to the infield. Cut off. Votto went over to third, and a fake by Gonzalez. He slid, then didn't really slide. Came back up and got in there. That's the slide. Up he goes, and the tag is missed, and the ball is dropped. So the Dodgers lead 2-1 in the fourth. Ball one to Howie Kendrick. So Utley and Turner score. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 4 hits for the Reds. So Utley and Turner having a little business-like chat. They were coming to the plate at the same time. Little roller to short. Cozart shovels to Phillips, and that's that. But the Dodgers get 2 and leave 2, and Peterson knocks in both of them. And at the end of 4, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Reds 1. LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. 5th inning, Dodgers lead 2-1. A look back. Don Drysdale arguing about something to the plate umpire. That's Johnny Roseborough on the right, number 44. And that's a collection of Atlanta Braves. In fact, 1959, where were the Braves? Milwaukee, yeah. Meanwhile, Jock Peterson got the base hit to drive in 2, and it's 2-1 Dodgers. The off-speed pitch, ball 1 to Eugenio Suarez, who has the very bad habit of striking out a lot. Kazmir has struck out 8. Off speed, in nicely. Straley had a tough 4th inning. He wound up making 25 pitches. One and 2. And in there. So Suarez strikes out again. That's 9 strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings for Scott Kazmir. Wow. Suarez taking one right down the middle. So Kazmir now working on Barnhart, who struck out. Only 2 men have avoided the strikeout. The 2 are Phillips, who has 2 singles, and Bruce, who lined out and tripled. Otherwise, everybody else has gone down at least once. Phillips scoring a run. 0-2 the count to Barnhart. Change up, comebacker, 2 down. Earlier, when Dan Straley came up, we mentioned the fact that he had 11 at bats, struck out 8 times, and yet had a run batted in. He also struck out again when he was up there in the 3rd inning. His RBI came on a 4-pitch walk with the bases loaded, after the number 8 hitter was walked intentionally in front of him. A strike. Walked the pitcher with the bases loaded. Fastball. So right away, Kazmir goes right out after him. 0-2. And another one. So that's 10 strikeouts for Scott Kazmir, and we're only in the 5th inning. Wow. And at the end of 4 1/2, 2-1 Dodgers. Brought to you by Cricket Wireless. Cricket, something to smile about. It's always fun to watch children in the ballpark. It's especially fun when you have the son of a player involved in the game, and he sure is. There's his dad, Brandon Phillips. It's 2-1 favor of the Dodgers, and it'll be Grandal, check swing for a strike, and the count 0-1. Kazmir through 5 innings has made 67 pitches and struck out 10. 0-2. I realize the Reds are not the 1927 Yankees, but nevertheless it's the big leagues, and Kazmir has struck out 10. Oh and 2. Yasmani struck out back in the 3rd inning and drives one to right, carrying well, and gone. Fourth home run for Yasmani in the 3rd, hitting left-handed, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. Well, we mentioned earlier that Straley has trouble with the bottom 3 in the lineup, and Grandal is hitting 8th and hits the home run. His last home run was against the Mets on the 12th of May. 3-1 Dodgers. And a bunt in the air and caught by Suarez. So Kazmir bunts for an out. Grandal swings to hit one out.
Second baseman, Chase Utley.
Dave Roberts saying, how's your back to Yasmani Grandal? He certainly got his back into that. All 4 home runs here at Dodger Stadium. Three runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Reds. For Dan Straley, that would be the 6th home run that he's allowed this year. That's a little low. Straley in his last 4 starts 2-0. So Grandal up against a pretty tough pitcher and hits it out. Straley's ERA over the last 4, 2.3. That's a strike. Interesting too for Grandal. He had struck out. He was 2 for 34 over the last 9 games before he hit the home run. 2-2 to Chase Utley. One out, 3-1 Dodgers. Three and two. Though Utley just fighting him off. 3-2 the count. Reds got a run in the 4th inning, and the Dodgers came back in the 4th with 2. Bruce tripled in Brandon Phillips, but the Dodgers came up in the 4th with 2, and now the home run by Grandal. And on the corner, strike 3 called. Utley on his way to first base, and he's 1 for 3, striking out twice. So it got the edge, and down he goes. Eight strikeouts for Dan Straley, 10 strikeouts for Kazmir, 18 strikeouts, and we're not finished in the 5th inning. 0-1 to Seager. He struck out and lined out. Dan Straley, born in Redlands. Off speed, but he missed. Dan 6'2", about 220. 1-2 the count. Dodgers off tomorrow, but it's really an off the ground day. They'll fly all day to get to New York. And then they'll have their hands full in the 3-game series with the Mets. Alex Wood and Jacob deGrom Friday night. And Seager foul tipped it. Alex Wood and Jacob deGrom Friday. Saturday, Kenta Maeda and Noah Syndergaard. Sunday, Clayton Kershaw and Bartolo Colon. Caught by Duvall, so the Dodgers have the home run by Grandal, and that's about it. And at the end of 5, it's worth another look as Grandal checks in, hits one out, and the Dodgers lead by 2. On this day in 2014, the Dodgers were in Philadelphia. The pitcher was Josh Beckett. He pitched a no-hitter, and the man to make the last out was Chase Utley. Let's get back to this one quick. And a strike. Yeah, Chase has been in a lot of situations. The last out of a no-hitter. 0-1. 1-1. Zach Cozart has struck out, flied to left, 0 for 2. Two and one. Kazmir has now made 70 pitches. He's in the 6th inning. He has struck out 10. He has not walked a batter, and he's allowed 4 hits. Change up. Cozart way out in front of it. Reds had back-to-back singles with 2 out in the 1st inning. And with 1 out in the 4th, Phillips singled. Bruce tripled him in. Bruce out at the plate. Foul. The relay man was Chase Utley. Though the Dodgers were in good hands, Utley fired a one-hopper to the plate, and Jay Bruce was nailed, and that's the big play of the night. 2-2. Grandal hit a home run. Fastball. Cozart came in hitting .312. Off-speed pitch he couldn't resist. It was up and away, but it looked like a basketball, I'm sure, and he fouled it off. Zach Cozart hitting .307 is number 2 in shortstop hitting, along with Jordy Mercer at .307. Diaz hit .329. That's just off the plate. So Kazmir going 3-2 on Cozart. Change up and ball 4. We have a moment. We were talking about Josh Beckett's no-hitter, so we'll flash back. There he was huffing and puffing, and Utley takes strike at the knees, and the game is over. The Dodger bench explodes. When they went back into the clubhouse, one of the grounds crew came into the clubhouse and handed Josh Beckett the pitching rubber. And Beckett was stunned. "Is this for me?" he said. They said, "Yep, you pitched a no-hitter. The game belonged to you, and so did part of the mound." Beckett, by the way, had a one-hitter earlier in his career. That's a strike. Dodgers have absolutely shut down Billy Hamilton, and when you do that, you take a lot of pressure off the pitcher. Oh and 1. Oh and 2. And the fastball is in there, and down goes Hamilton again. He strikes out a second time. 11 strikeouts for Scott Kazmir. And Joey Votto coming up. Joey Votto singled and struck out, representing the tying run. Half a dozen home runs, and there's Brandon talking to his son. Ball one. Got away, but not far enough, and down by 2. Cozart wisely held at first. Scott Edward Kazmir, and Micah is still busy talking to his dad. One ball, no strike. Scott Edward Kazmir out of Houston, Texas, pitching a gem. Fastball strike. Scott started off in 2002. He actually pitched for Brooklyn, not the Dodgers. Fouled away, 1-2. Since 2011, Kazmir has had a problem. Even though he is left-handed, he is a high kicker. And the last we checked, there had been 40 attempted stolen bases against him, and the league has been successful 36 out of the 40. See if that means anything with Cozart. Drifted in there. So Votto strikes out a second time.
Second baseman Brandon Phillips.
12 strikeouts for Scott Kazmir. And the batter, Brandon Phillips, single to center, flared a single to right, and rode home on the triple by Jay Bruce, who was on deck. Kazmir was originally signed by the Mets back in 2002, right out of high school. There's that flourishing kick. Some pitchers don't like to have the so-called slide step where your lead foot stays very close to the ground. They feel they lose something, velocity, stuff. And then there are others who kick that leg high in the air like Scott. Up it goes. 0-1 to count. Brandon Phillips 2 for 2. Both singles, scored a run. By the way, in watching Kazmir rack them up, and he has struck out 12, you might wonder his career high is 13 way back in 2007 when he was with the Devil Rays. Back in 2007, Scott Kazmir was pitching, as we said, for the Devil Rays. 2008, he was pitching for Vero Beach in the Florida State League. You want to talk about falling off the table. Then he fought his way back. 0-1. One ball and one strike to Brandon Phillips. Phillips 6 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Dodgers lead 3-1, 6th inning, 2 out. Two and one. Pretty good fastball, but a little up. Phillips wouldn't chase it. In the dirt. Nice block by Grandal. Cozart down by 2 isn't going to gamble anyway. So 3-1 to count. 2 down. Phillips at the plate and Bruce on deck. Cozart over there at first base doesn't do much running. He is 1 for 1. Three and one count. And ball 4. So Kazmir has walked 2 and struck out 2 here in the 6th inning.
Midfielder Jay Bruce.
So Jay Bruce has hit the ball hard against Kazmir. He lined out to Peterson in the 1st inning and tripled high off the center field wall in the 4th. So he's trouble against Kazmir. Lewis Coleman gets up in the Dodger bullpen. Interesting in talking about the possibility of a home run. Kazmir has allowed 7 home runs in his last 4 starts. So Honeycutt out to check the gauge to see if there's still enough in the gas tank. 3 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Reds. 2 streaks, 2 monkeys the Reds are trying to get off their backs. A 9-game losing streak against the league and an 8-game losing streak against the Dodgers. So here's Bruce hitting .267. Dodgers load up. Bruce says they load up against him just about all the time. One ball and no strikes. One and 0. That's in there. Ground ball to the middleman. That's Utley. And that'll do it. So the Reds get a couple of walks, but nothing else. And at the end of 5.5 innings, it's 3-1 Dodgers. LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. A look back, 1955. Gil Hodges holding up Johnny Padres and holding up the other leg, the great Carl Furillo. Padres, 22 years old, from Witherby, New York. And as he said after the game, when everybody thought there was so much pressure on him, the Dodgers won that game 2-0. And Johnny said I didn't have any pressure. Nobody expected anything from me. That's fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Justin Turner, Adrian Gonzalez, Trace Thompson. Rick Honeycutt patting Scott Kazmir on the back. I'm just wondering, he's made 91 pitches, and that's very important. From 91 to 105 pitches, the league is hitting .389 against him. So we'll see whether that means they're not going to send him out there in the 7th. Ground ball hard to Suarez. 1 away. So Turner 0 for 2.
First base,
Adrian Gonzalez coming up. Gonzalez struck out and walked in the 4th inning. When this game is over, the Dodgers will go to New York and the Reds will go to Milwaukee. There's certainly hope for the Reds. They will break their losing streak before going home. They're averaging 22,000 a game. Line drive foul. 1 hopper up into the seats and a big play down there. Giants won today 4-3 in 10 innings. Brandon Crawford had the game-winning base hit. When the Reds come up, they're due to have Duvall, Suarez, and Barnhart, all right-hand batters. The collection, however, put them all together, they've struck out 5 times. 3-2. Lewis Coleman is still out and loosening up in the Dodger bullpen. So it could be Kazmir is done for the night. Gonzalez strikes out a 2nd time, and we have 2 down. You know, Monday, June 6th, show your Dodger pride with a Dodger license plate frame. Available to the first 40,000 fans and presented by Arco. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Nine strikeouts for Dan Straley. Fastball in there. So he's done a tremendous job. But he's down 3-1. Getting no offense. Foul back. 0-2 the count. Trace Thompson struck out in the 4th inning. Grounded out in the 2nd. The big blow right now is the single by Peterson that drove in 2 in the 4th. 1-2. A very tough ball game, and Jock came up, singled to drive in 2. And that's the difference in the game. Two and two. Trace Thompson starting tonight in right field over Yasiel Puig. Straley's come a long way. During the offseason before 2012, he was a shoe salesman at a sporting goods store in Eugene, Oregon. 3-2. Good looking young pitcher. Very good sinker. Then he has the 4-seamer, slider, curve, and change. the change to left-hand hitters has been very well done. And there's that off-speed pitch. Down goes Trace. So that's 10 strikeouts for Dan Straley, and he walks off at the end of 6, losing 3-1 as Kershaw talks to Kazmir. Trip coming up starting Friday night against the New York Mets. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then no rest for the weary. What happens is Sunday night, that's right, Sunday night they play in New York, and then Monday afternoon in Chicago. So that's a tough 7 coming up. And again, we will repeat the possible pitchers: Alex Wood and Jacob deGrom. Saturday, Kenta Maeda and Noah Syndergaard. Sunday, Clayton Kershaw, Bartolo Colon. Lewis Coleman is out on the mound for a very good reason. The numbers don't lie. And we mentioned after 91 pitches, the opposition is hitting .389 against Kazmir. Well, he made 91 pitches and they hooked him with a 3-1 lead. Kazmir pitched exceptionally well, walked a couple and struck out 12, allowing 1 run and 4 hits. So Lewis Coleman comes in now to try and nail it down, or at least get it to Kenley Jansen. Duvall has struck out twice. Struck out once last night. High fly ball, very playable. Kendrick is there. One out in the 7th. Eugenio Suarez, who has struck out twice, coming up. In case you've not been keeping track, the Mets are in 2nd place behind Washington. They're 13-8 at home. And then the Cubs running away. The Cubs are 14-6 at home, and they're leading Pittsburgh by 5. That'll be the road trip, and a tough one. No balls and 2 strikes. Lewis Coleman trying to nail it down. Little foul, that'll go out of play. Suarez has been struggling with the bat. And another foul ball. Eugenio Suarez waiting on deck. Tucker Barnhart. Oh, 0-2. Suarez from Venezuela, originally signed by the Tigers back in 2008. He did hit 13 home runs for the Reds last year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's what he does quite often. So he strikes out 3 times tonight.
Catcher, Tucker Barnhart.
Just to give you an idea how tough it is, he was going into the game 0 for 17, and he had struck out 11 times. Now he's 0 for 20 and has struck out 14 times. Not much fun. And ball 1. Jordan Pacheco on deck. So 13 Reds have struck out. High fly ball down the line. Tough chance for Kendrick on the dead run. Sliding, can't make the catch on a foul ball. So a nice effort by Howie. He's been something, huh? First base, second base, third base, left field, and doing a good job at all positions. Barnhart has struck out and hit back to the box. Brandon Phillips has not struck out. Jay Bruce has not struck out, but everybody else has bitten the dust. One and 1. Comebacker. So Coleman waited for Gonzalez and then almost threw it away. So for Dan Straley, he goes to the 7th, but let's see if he goes to the mound. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 7th inning. Jock Peterson is the difference. He came up against Straley, got a pitch low, and banged it a one-hopper into right field to Jay Bruce. 2 runs scored, and that's the difference in the game. So Peterson knocks in 2. It's 3-1 Dodgers, and Dan Straley will face Peterson, Kendrick, and Grandal. Foul ball, 0-1. Jock lined out to left and singled to right, which is a very good sign for a young hitter to use the whole ballpark instead of just trying to walk up and pull everything. 0-1. Straley has done well. He's allowed 3 runs, but only 3 hits. Two and 1. Straley has struck out 12, though he's turned in a heck of a job. Hit down the line, foul. We've had 23 strikeouts in the game. 10 Dodgers have struck out. Straley has struck out 12, and then Coleman got 1 on the corner. So Peterson caught looking at a pitch that catches the edge. 11 Dodgers have struck out. Hard ground ball to third, but Suarez is there. Boy, Dan Straley has done a very good job. They have not helped him out offensively, and he's down 3-1. He is also due to lead off in the 8th inning. Oh, with 2 out, off speed and comes in 75-mile-an-hour changeup. Grandal struck out and homered. The Reds had only 3 hits last night and 4 hits tonight. Jammed in, little pop fly. Suarez is there, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the 7th inning. And a fine job by young Dan Straley. They said he was the best pitcher they have, and he did very well, but he goes out losing 3-1. Kazmir struck out 12, 91 pitches, and the Dodgers now go to the defense. They move Trace Thompson from right field to left. That removes Howie Kendrick. Yasiel Puig takes over in right. Puig will bat ninth, which means he'll lead off in the bottom of the 8th inning. Baez comes out of the bullpen. He will go in Kendrick's spot. Tyler Holt will bat for Straley in the 8th inning. Tyler, originally signed by the Indians out of Florida State. 5'11", 190, 27 years old. Dan Straley, who pitched well but not well enough. Or let's put it another way, he didn't get any offense from his team. 1 run. And a strike on 1. Tyler, first team All ACC outfielder, leading the Seminoles in batting, scoring, just about everything. 0-1. Oh, and 2 right into Grandal's mask. 0-2. Wow. Day after day they get hammered back there. Holt has changed his batting stance. He used to have a wide open stance and he was in a deep crouch. Well, down he goes. So Baez gets 1. 14 Reds have struck out. And the batter will be Zach Cozart. It is a good thing that the Reds are staying on the road. And it's bad enough to have a long losing streak, but it is awful to bring that losing streak home to Cincinnati. So they'll go to Milwaukee and try to lose it there. Of course, this one's not over, but still. A strike to Cozart, struck out, fly to left and walked. 0 for 2. Oh and 1. Check swing. Did he? Nope. 1 ball and 1 strike. Baez wants to check, and the first base umpire, Brian Knight, says no swing. The Reds' last hit was that triple by Bruce, who was out at the plate trying to make it an inside the park home run. And a drive to left, going back and over is Thompson. 2 down. You know, Friday, June 3rd, after the Dodger game, you can take your place on the field for Friday night fireworks presented by Denny's. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 2 out in the 8th. Billy Hamilton still looking for a hit in the series. Dodgers have completely shut him down. 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out twice. Struck out in the 1st inning. Struck out in the 6th. 0-1. 14 Reds have struck out. 11 Dodgers. 25 strikeouts were in the 8th inning. And another fly ball to Thompson. All right, that's the 8th inning. The Reds go very quietly, and we're heading for the bottom of the 8th. It's 3-1 in favor of the Dodgers. Baez made 8 pitches. On offensively for the Dodgers, just a couple of base hits. A single by Utley, base hit by Peterson, which drove in 2, and the home run by Grandal. A lot of offers, but the Dodgers, thanks to some great pitching by Kazmir, who struck out 12. Coleman struck out 1. Baez struck out 1. So 14 Reds have bitten the dust. Big Blake Wood, he's a Georgia boy, born in Atlanta, lives in Sewanee, Georgia, and went to Georgia Tech. Originally drafted by the Royals, and he'll face the number 9 hitter in the Dodger lineup, and that's Yasiel Puig. Puig, his first at bat, does not swing at the first pitch. Stop the presses. 0-1. Blake Wood has a brother who was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blake is big, 6'5", 240 pounds. 31. Fastball at 96, and the count 1-2. Down in the pen, Kenley Jansen getting ready to pitch the 9th inning. He'll pace Votto, Phillips, and Bruce. 2-2 the count. Fastball's been clocked up to 97. Then he has a hard curveball and a changeup. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And down goes Puig. So 1 out in the 8th inning. That means 12 strikeouts as far as the Dodger hitters are concerned. So we've had 26 strikeouts in the game. And here's Utley. Utley struck out. Single, scored a run, and struck out again. Looks like the only Dodger who has avoided the strikeout would be Justin Turner. And Turner 0 for 2 was also hit by a pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball hit to Phillips. So we have 2 down in the 8th inning. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. 2 out in the 8th inning. The Dodgers' last hit was the leadoff home run by Grandal in the 5th inning. So it's been pitching, pitching, and more pitching. Seager, strikeout, lined out to short, fly to left. Great pitch. 0-2. How they do it, it's amazing to have the same arm speed for a fastball and then come back the same way and take everything off it. 1-2. Blake Wood had Tommy John surgery 2013, but he comes back and he can get that fastball up to 98. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, bases empty. Dodgers lead by 2. And Kenley Jansen getting ready to face Joey Votto, Brandon Phillips, and Jay Bruce. The numbers 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Reds lineup. And Seager's tied up and strikes out. So 3 Dodgers strike out. That brings it up to 14. And here comes Kenley Jansen to try and get the last 3 outs. Dodgers lead 3-1. Well, we've arrived in the 9th inning. So is Kenley Jansen. The Dodgers lead 3-1. Here's what's on the table. The Reds are 3 outs away from losing 10 in a row, from losing 9 in a row to the Dodgers, who are 3 outs away from winning 4 in a row. The Giants won this afternoon, so the Dodgers must win to remain 4.5 back. And here's where Jansen is. He's only 6 behind Eric Gagne in saves. Joey Votto to lead it off. 0-1. Votto singled in the first inning, struck out in the 4th, struck out in the 6th. Scott Kazmir was absolutely brilliant for 6 innings, striking out 12. Boy, averaging 2 strikeouts an inning, that's really big league. On 1. One ball and 1 strike. The Reds go to Milwaukee and the Dodgers go to New York. Tomorrow is an off the ground day. They'll fly to New York and then open up Friday night. Alex Wood and Jacob deGrom. Ball 2. Saturday, Kenta Maeda and Noah Syndergaard. And then Sunday in New York, Clayton Kershaw and Bartolo Colon. 2-1. 2-2. The only problem for the Dodgers on Sunday, it's a night game. So they'll play in New York and then fly to Chicago for a day game. Clayton Kershaw will be on the mound Sunday against Cologne. Two and two to what has been a very, very quiet Joey Votto. a harmless single tonight. He had a double and never left second last night, and he went 0 for 2 the game before. The paid attendance tonight, 44,855. Fouled away. So each of the first 2 games, the crowd was 42,000. On Adrian Gonzalez night, it's 44. And there he is, young Micah Phillips. One day to be that man's hero. He's showing his dad how to hit. Little ground ball. Gonzalez feeding Jansen. So that's not the Joey Votto that we've been looking at for years and years. He has really been the quiet man in this series.
Second baseman number 4, Brandon Phillips.
1 out. Brandon Phillips, perhaps inspired by his son's presence, single to center, single to right, and walk. The Reds are 2 outs away from losing 10 in a row. Then again, last year they lost 13 in a row. They have won 3 games on the road. That's right, 3 games on the road. Three victories and could have 17 losses. That's pretty tough. Big league team going on the road and winning only 3. Dodgers won't see the Reds again until the middle of August in Cincinnati. Check swing. They look. Swing. 0-2 the count to Brandon Phillips. Yeah, that bat went way out in front. 3 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Hey, Micah, that's your dad. Keep an eye out. One and 2. Only had a total of 7 hits in the game. Two and 2. Though only 7 hits, and if my figures are right, 27 strikeouts. And fly ball down the right field line. Puig coming in a hurry. He's there. Oh, yeah. My dad was robbed. I mean, he hit that ball down the line. Darn. So 2 out.
Right fielder number 32, Jay Bruce.
Oh, well, Brandon has his son and his wife. Here's Jay Bruce. He's hit the ball hard twice, lined out to center, tripled off the center field wall, and grounded out. His triple scored Phillips, and Bruce waved in, was out at the plate. Foul ball. Play went off the wall. Peterson crashed into the wall, was knocked almost senseless. But Kendrick fired the ball to Utley, and Utley a 1-hopper to Grandal, and Jay was out. That's the last hit for the Reds. Back in the 4th inning. Dodgers had to win tonight to stay pace with the Giants. Giants went 10. Brandon Crawford singled in the run. Giants have won 5 in a row. That means they have a total of 30 victories already. Dodgers are trying to win their 25th tonight. 1-1. 1-2. So the Reds down to their last out. Crowd of 44,855. And Kenley trying to wrap it up. A broken bat, little ground ball. Turner throws in time. So the Reds have lost 10 in a row. The Dodgers have won 4 in a row. Jansen made 15 pitches. The totals on the game: 3 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. For the Reds, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. And without a doubt, the player of the game is Scott Kazmir with an assist to Jock Peterson. Kazmir won 6, allowed 1 run, 4 hits, and struck out 12. So for Scotty, it was a big night as well for the Dodgers, who now go to New York and Chicago before coming back. Till then, we wish you all a very pleasant good evening, everybody.